Hi, I'm Adam Walker, co-founder of 48 and 48, and I just want to start by saying thank you for participating in this weekend. You are going to make a huge difference to a lot of nonprofits, and hopefully you're going to have a lot of fun in the process. So this training is to show you how to get started, let you know how the night is going to go, what to expect, and then really to get you jump started in using WordPress, building your homepage, and really being able to build a great website in 48 hours. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So the first thing you need to know is what to expect from Friday night. So the goal for Friday night is for you to understand what your nonprofit has put together and what their needs are, and then for you to begin building the homepage. So in order to understand what the nonprofit's put together, you also need to understand what they've done to prepare for this event. So they've been going through our coursework and really preparing for this event. A big part of the coursework is a content questionnaire and a branding questionnaire. And so the first things you're going to want to do are to review those questionnaires to understand who the nonprofit is, what they're about, why they're building a website, and what their needs are. That's really, really important. The next thing you're going to do is to look through and find the content. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute, and begin reviewing that content, making sure that you have pages, making sure that you have text, making sure that you have images that you can use in the building of the website. And then the last thing you're going to do to make sure you understand the needs of your nonprofit is have a conference call with that nonprofit to ask clarifying questions. This is important for two reasons. Number one, it gives the nonprofit confidence in your team and your ability to build a great website for them. And two, it really helps you to understand what their needs are. It helps you to ask clarifying questions. It helps you to really feel comfortable building this website with them. So tonight, you're going to gain understanding. You're going to build a homepage, and if time permits, you're going to begin prepping to work on some of your subpages. So before we dive in, let me walk over some of the tools that you're going to be using. The first thing you need to look at is Trello. So every nonprofit has a Trello board, and you are going to use this board in order to walk through the process of building the website. So you'll see on the far left here how to use this board. It walks you through how this all works. You can review this. It will go in much more detail than this video training is going to offer. But I'm just going to give you the high level overview. Then you can go to the board and see for yourself. So the first thing is you'll look at this. Look at all these cards. You can click into each card to understand how it works. And then you can click out to go to the next card. Okay? You can see our labeling and how all that works. One of the first things you'll do in prepping to build the page is really understand what you're doing. So the first thing you'll do is you'll go to the Knowledgebase. I'm going to show you this in just a minute. There's a card for that. One of the other things you'll do, you'll see right here, is discovery process. This card, review all materials to be sure we have everything we need. So if you click into this card, you can see there's a task, branding questionnaire. Did you look at all of it? Content questionnaire. Did you review all of it? Is there a sitemap that's been created that you can review? Does the staging site have pages that match the sitemap? Does the staging site have pages with appropriate content, 200 to 700 words? Does the staging site have enough images? Or are you going to have to supplement some of those from a site like unsplash.com or Pexel? Review the current organization site. Is there anything on that site that can be pulled in to this new site that you're building, or that should be pulled into this new site that you're building? And then create a list of missing items that you're going to ask your project manager to track down. So maybe the project manager will find some suggestions on how you can create those items, or maybe they'll reach out to the nonprofit to help that have that nonprofit find those items for you. Now, when you are working on a card, this is important. What we want to do is we want to get each of these columns empty. Right now, you can see there's 5 cards in Discovery. We want to make sure there's 0 cards in Discovery when we finish. So what we'll do is we'll grab this card, we'll click it, we're going to drag it over here to the right, and you can see we can drop it into in progress. This lets the project manager and the head project manager for your weekend know that this card is actively being worked on by a team. Then when you've completed all that, you drag it over to complete and you leave it incomplete. That way we know what's been completed for every single site. It is critically important that you use the Trello board, that you drag the cards, and that you walk through the process. We've honed this process over years and years, over many, many events. It works really, really well, and it helps you to build amazing sites very quickly, and it helps our project managers to know exactly where we are in the process. So please, 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 please use the Trello process. Next, I want to show you the knowledge base. So we've built out an extensive knowledge base. There's 50 to 100 articles in here that will walk you through all kinds of information about WordPress, about setting up your homepage, about Beaver Builder, about where to find stock photography, how to do 301 redirects, what form settings you need to check, anything you can think of. We've created a knowledge base article on it. You can search here in a real-time search, or you can see all the categories as we scroll down here, okay? So to start with, one of the things we'll be doing in just a minute ago, I'm not going to skip too far ahead, but I will be walking you through this. Step 1, how to start your homepage layout. So that's going to be one of the knowledge base articles you're going to really want to pay attention to. We're going to walk through this in a minute. But before we do, I want to tell you what to do when you get stuck, because you're going to get stuck. You're going to try to do something that's difficult, or something's not going to line up correctly, or something weird's going to happen. So when you get stuck, over here on Slack, we're offering remote support. You've also probably got a volunteer on site at your event, but we also have remote support. So you can see over here, the Slack channels, we have help-content. So if you need help with some content on a site, maybe we have some content writers that are available. You can go to help-content, or maybe we have some designers that are available, and you can ask some questions in design. For anybody that has design experience, they can offer help in that area. But most importantly is going to be this channel right here, Help-WordPress. You need to make sure you're on Slack, and you need to make sure you are in the Help-WordPress channel. That is going to be critical to your success this weekend. This is where you can ask questions all the time. We've got somebody manning it almost all day, every day, and you can ask questions. We can do screen shares there if we need to. Whatever we need to do to answer the question, we can help you do that. Go to Help-WordPress, and that's where you can get the most help. So if you get stuck, please don't spin your wheels. Jump over to Slack. Make sure that you ask for help there. So now I'm going to show you how to log in to your staging site and how to begin building your homepage for your staging site. So first thing we're going to do is we go to the staging site. You should get this link from your project manager. We're going to click on login. You should get the login from your project manager. All right, and now we're logged into the site. So I'm going to go over just a couple of WordPress basics so that you know what to expect when you're getting the site. The first thing you need to know is this is a WordPress install, but it is a closed WordPress install. And what that means is that we have hand-selected plugins and themes to work on this platform, and we are not able to add any additional plugins or themes to the platform. We do that for a variety of reasons, but the primary one is that we need to make sure that everything that's on the platform is of very high quality so that we can maintain consistency across the sites that we build and so that we can continue to support them. So you will not be able to add plugins. If you're used to using specific plugins that are not available, our apologies, and we do understand your pain, but often there are workarounds and other ways to go about doing what you've done with other plugins with the plugins that exist here. So please be patient with us on that and understand that this is a closed WordPress system. Next thing you want to know is, like I mentioned, during discovery, you want to see, do they have pages? Do the pages have content? So right over here on the left-hand side, you're going to click on pages and you're going to review those pages. So right now it looks like they do not have pages. These are all the pages that pop up by default. So I know from experience that this site does not have pages. I will also mention that this branding questionnaire and website content questionnaire, those are actually empty pages, and you can ignore those for the sake of this particular exercise. If there was a page, I would go ahead and click into it, by the way, to see if there's content there. So I've clicked into the page, and sure enough, there is no content. So that's one of the things that you would want to do. All right, next, menus. A lot of people get confused on where menus are. Let me show you that. Under Appearance and Menus. This is where you can edit your menus. You can reorder your menus. It's drag and drop. You can mess with them there. You can add new pages to the menus over here. If you need to do that, add to menu. You get the idea. That's also covered in the knowledge base, just so you're aware. And lastly, let me walk you through how to start with a layout in Beaver Builder, which is the page builder that we're using for this project, how to start with an existing layout so that you're not beginning a design from scratch. That's really important to the success of building a great website at a 48 and 48 weekend. So first thing we're going to do is go over here and click on settings. By the way, I am just walking through the step-by-step instructions in option 2 of the how to start your homepage that is inside of the knowledge base. So we're going to click on settings. Underneath settings, we're going to go to UABB. And then under here, we're going to go to template cloud right here. And here you're going to begin to look for a layout that you think meets the needs or begins to at least look like it's going to meet the needs of your nonprofit. So for example, if you have a nonprofit and you know they have 3 core areas of expertise that they want to showcase on their homepage, then this one right here, this SEO or marketing, might be perfect. So let's preview that. And there's a nice clear call to action at the top. Maybe your nonprofit has a call to action. Maybe it has a dual call to action, just like this one. And then, oh, look, your nonprofit, they have 3 core service areas. Look, this one's your first service, your second service, your third service. Perfect. It's already built out correctly, right? Oh, there's a 4th service. Maybe use that for something. You get the idea. So I think for the sake of this example, we're going to go ahead and use this. So I've pulled this up. I'm going to click on install. All right, it's now installed. Now, what does that mean? Where do you go? Well, let me show you where to go. So it's now installed, which means you can now use it inside of the pages, but you have to go to the pages to do that. So we're going to click on pages. And since we're going to start with our home page, we're going to go to our home page, front page right here. And we're not going to click on home. We're going to click on Beaver Builder because, again, we're building our pages in a page builder called Beaver Builder. So we're going to click on Beaver Builder right here to take us into the Beaver Builder interface. Okay. All right. You can go through a tutorial if you'd like. I've done that before, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm going to click on templates. I'm going to click on the drop-down menu and go to template cloud. You remember we clicked on template cloud back in settings. This is that same template cloud. And look, here's the template that we want to use for our homepage. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to replace existing layout because I do not need any of the stuff that is there. Click OK. And in just a moment, we will have a nice new layout. Now, oh, look, there's already an error there with an image. That's fine because we were going to replace those images anyway. So for whatever reason, there's a problem with the images. But again, not a big deal because we were already planning to replace them. But you can see that the layout is there. It's done. It's ready to go. And so now all I have to do is go in and begin to edit that image or those layouts. Now, another thing I'll mention is you'll notice that we have not done anything to the header here. We haven't changed the menu. We haven't changed the top header, any of that. And then also the footer is going to be the default. That will get changed later in the process. You could possibly do that later tonight on Friday night if you have some time. But the main thing is to begin to get the look and feel of the home page situated on Friday. So I'm going to walk you through just 1 or 2 more things here about Beaver Builder, and then you'll be able to just dive right in and experiment. So the first thing I'll show you is that notice when I hover over things that there's a box that pops up that will allow me to edit those items. And so all I have to do is hover over the box and click on it. It's going to pull up the dialog box here. And then I can, if I need to move this around so that I can see what I'm doing. And you can see that real time it's updating. And you just go through and update each part, right? When you're done, you click save. And then when you want to publish or when you want to go out, my recommendation is always to go ahead and publish your work. It's not really going live because you're on a staging site, so that's okay. A lot of people get confused and they want to save it as a draft. I find that causes a lot of confusion, so I strongly recommend you go ahead and publish. So what you'll do is you go up here in the top, you click on done, you click on publish, and then that's going to push it live to the staging site, right? So now you can see that now my homepage on the staging site looks just like this. Now, if I need to go back into this page, I'm on the front end. You can tell you're logged in because you've got the WordPress toolbar right here at the top, and I can click on Beaver Builder, and then I can edit my homepage right there, right? So I click on Beaver Builder again. It takes me back in. Now I can go in and edit more boxes here. Okay. I'm going to show you one last thing in case you have time to get to it tonight, and that is how to begin editing your header and your footer. So I'm going to go ahead and publish my changes again here. And now I'm back on the front end. Again, still logged into WordPress. You can see the toolbar here. If I mouse over Beaver Builder, you can see I can also click on main header and main footer. This is where you're going to go to edit the style of the header, which is this gray box right here with Demo 2020 in the toolbar, or sorry, in the nav bar, or the footer, which is the ugly gray box at the bottom. So for the sake of this example, I'll go ahead and edit the header. And it's going to pull me into a blank page with Beaver Builder and just the header, right? Which is pretty great. So I can also preview this page. So if I wanted to preview this page in the context of the home page I just created, right? Because that might make it easier to style them the same. You can click on that, click on page, click on home. And once it loads, you'll be able to still edit this top bar, but it'll actually show the home page down here in the content area. It's just having some trouble loading there. So if I want to edit the style of this box, for example, not make it an ugly gray, I can click on this toolbar right here. It's a row setting, and I can change the color of it, or I can make it a gradient or parallax or just nothing at all. I can add a border. There's all kinds of other things we can do. So you can tinker with that and begin to figure it out. So a couple of the highlights to take away from this tutorial. Number one, make sure that you understand your nonprofit thoroughly before you begin work. It's tempting to jump right in and build something nice. Don't do that. Make sure you understand your nonprofit thoroughly. Number two, make sure you're using the tools that we've created. The Trello Board is very important. The 48 and 48 knowledge base will answer 90% of your questions. And then Slack. The Help-Wordpress channel is where you want to start when you need something in Slack that you can't get answered somewhere else. And make sure you start with an existing layout for your homepage. It's also tempting to want to start from scratch and just be very creative, but that will take significantly longer, and you'll end up with a better quality product if you start with an existing layout rather than starting from scratch. That's it. Make sure you reach out to one of our lead PMs or your PM if you have any further questions. And again, thank you so much for being a part of 48 and 48.